What's up, everybody? Cam and Chris
Chris and
back
Cam,
again.
back
This
again.
time we doing an NF talks about success, fans of his new album Hope. Back on
Mm,
track. I don't know what that. Back on track must be. What's that?
I don't know.
Is that the person who doing the interview?
Oh,
That's the
right. I
album?
don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, let's see what he talk about on here. Talk about success. I ain't never heard him talk. I only listen to his music.
Right. We've never
So let's
seen
see
him. Yeah.
see what he talk about.
Video I've ever shot.
Wait, what he say?
Hope's the hardest video I've ever shot.
Hope. Yeah, that was a good one. That's the first one we did, right? Hope was the first one he did when he was in the ocean. He was talking to
That
him
was
in
the
the
first
black.
one we did. The first one we did was when he was showing up at the award
at
show.
the
That was
awards.
the very first one.
Yeah,
we
then
did.
we did that one. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
Hey, what's up? This is NF and you're watching Stoked Back on Track. I don't think I really have like an earliest memory. I just remember at a young age, I don't know like the specific earliest memory I guess, but just like falling in love with like listening to music. I started writing it just because of how much I loved to hear it. And yeah, I just became super passionate about it at a pretty young age, probably like 11 or 12 years old.
That's probably how everybody get into stuff. You like watching it, then you try it, and then you realize you good.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know.
you should be had you. Yeah, you
Mhm.
realize you good.
Yeah, you like, oh shoot, I sound good. Or somebody tell you you sound good,
Mhm.
you should keep up.
Yeah. That could be with a lot of stuff. Drawing,
Probably singing too. You know how you try to
singing.
be singing in the shower and somebody like you sound when
Yeah,
you're a
that's what I
kid.
just said. You may draw a picture. You may think you just drawing. They be like, "That's good."
That's no, everybody can't do that.
Right. And then you realize, oh, I got some here.
Yeah, that ain't nothing. I was, you know,
Yeah. Then you go do a better one, another one.
man, you
Hmm.
like, I am good. You know who I heard? I heard LeBron say that. He said he was growing up. He's playing basketball, you know, with
Yeah.
his friends and stuff.
Hmm.
And he said he saw himself getting
Hmm.
way better than them,
Hmm.
and that's when he knew, oh, I can do this. And plus, he
Right. How
he was
about
taller
that?
than everybody
Right.
else too.
Hmm.
But let's go.
First lyrics I wrote were probably about a bunch of stuff that wasn't true. I mean, I was just rapping about like what other rappers would rap
Right.
about. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just rapping about whatever, like being from the streets, and which I definitely wasn't. But you know, that's just like what I was listening to. So it's like that's how I would rap. I fell in love with Eminem stuff at a pretty early age. He's definitely my biggest influence. When I was younger, I listened to Lecrae. As I got a little older, I fell in love with like Ed Sheeran. There was like a pretty huge gap where I was like basically just listening to Eminem and just started writing my own raps and stuff. Hollywood Undead, one of their albums, I liked some of their songs. And then yeah, Ed Sheeran, Adele, I started listening to music that wasn't just like rap as I got a little older. Yeah, my first record, like independently, I guess, was called Moments. Pretty terrible. I made some of my own beats on there. I used to record at a studio called Guitar Sound Studio in Coleman, Michigan. And so some of the songs are from that. I think it's easy to take for granted sometimes, like what you have, especially if you've like made it, you can get used to it. But I think stuff like that and then just going out and playing live shows like remind you like where you came from for sure. Cause I remember doing shows for like 4 or 5 people, you know what I mean? So now that
That's what we be saying when you see them people. You know, they show you people on stage, and then they turn the camera around, and you see all them people
Yeah.
that you gotta think in your
Ocean.
mind, man.
Yeah.
I remember when it was
4 or 5 people.
my mama and my
Right.
auntie
Right.
was down there.
Right. You just, that's it. They came to check you out, and that was all
Right.
that showed up.
came from for sure. Cause I remember doing shows for like 4 or 5 people, you know what I mean? So now it's crazy. I can travel around and perform for thousands. Probably my first album, Mansion, I feel like I could feel like a little shift where I was like, oh, people are like actually kind of listening to my music now. And then I feel like on my second record, Therapy Session, I noticed like the live aspect when I started playing clubs and stuff like that. I started noticing that because you're seeing it in real time. Like, oh, I had no one at my shows, and now 350 kids, or in this city 500. It's like that's probably where I really noticed like the shift of like, oh, maybe I'm actually like gonna do this.
I am aware it's aggressive. I am not here for.
And then they know all the words to your songs.
Oh yeah,
That gotta be crazy too.
I don't know what you expected, but what you expect when you walk in a therapy session.
I don't know who it was more therapeutic for, but I started really realizing how therapeutic music was for me in that process, for sure. There's definitely like a place for me to go and write my feelings. I think it's awesome. I mean, I think music's one of the most powerful things ever.
If you want love, you gon' have to go through the pain.
That's true. Sound and music, powerful, because it could put you in a mood.
Yeah.
It could get you out of a mood.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that we don't know about, but I think sound and music
we know
can be used for like
a lot.
spiritual
We know
type stuff.
not just spiritual. I think even we know with autism, like
Oh yeah.
that music played a big, big
Yeah.
part.
It could relax you.
Yeah, it could relax you. It also helped with the verbalizing, because the music, the singing, we know how it helped, like just trying to form the words to sing along. I don't know about you, but to me, music did a lot in our situation with the autism.
Yeah.
Like really, like before one good word came out, it was more music that came. But I think it does a lot. It's a good, awesome therapy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
If you want love, you gon' have to learn how to change.
That album, I would say, was the record. I didn't try to remember every song on it, but I'd say it was probably the record where I kind of honed in on my sound. The beginning of like really honing in on my sound. Also, just has my biggest song ever on it, so I'm obviously super proud of that moment on that record. Oh, it was actually kind of crazy. I think like the week before.
Which song is his best?
I don't know if he's talking about the love. If you want to love, is that what he's talking about? Since they just played it, I don't know. So we haven't heard that one yet.
Oh, okay.
Or the week after Therapy Session came out, I recorded Let You Down, and then I was sat on it for like a year and a half. I mean, I was making the record, but it was like the first song I made, like first or second. There's 2 songs I made in those couple days, and that was one of them. And it's crazy because year and a half later it came out. It's the biggest song I ever.
Oh, okay. So Let You Down. Was that the name of it?
We got that to that yet?
I don't think so.
All right.
Made, so.
Right now, I wish that I could say I'm proud. I'm sorry that I let you down. Let you down.
I was fortunate that I kind of had a core fan base before the radio song, and then if you get a song to pop off like that song did, it just adds fuel to the fire. So it definitely like increased the size of my shows. But also I think it was exciting for like people who are hardcore fans of me to see. I think it's always cool for like fans to see an artist. If I was a fan of someone and I went to their show and there was 20 people there, and then the next year I went and there was 500, and then the next year I went there's 2,000. I feel like that'd be kind of cool to see, like, oh, I watched this person. Like I kind of came up with this person.
From the beginning, yeah.
It was kind of overwhelming, honestly. It's like the thing you wished for, but like I never experienced that many eyes on me or whatever. So it was like a little overwhelming for sure. And then I had never done any press and stuff, which I don't really like doing. So that was kind of like shocking to start doing that kind of stuff, interviews and all the questions, and then just, a lot of pressure, like pressure that I'd never, when you start your career, it's like no one knows you, no one's like listening to you, and you're just kind of doing what you do, and then you feel more pressure as like more people are watching you and stuff.
Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming. Hands on my head, can't tell me nothing. Got a taste of the fame, it upon my stomach. Throw it back up like I don't want it. Wipe my face, clean up my vomit. OCD trying to push my buttons, I said don't touch it. Now y'all done it.
Music videos are a big part of how I like to market my music. Because sometimes when you hear something, it's like I said, I like movies, and I feel like if you muted the music in a movie, you're not going to feel the same, right? So sometimes I like to, at least the music videos I like to let the music video kind of help paint the picture. If you just listen to Hope by itself.
Right, and that's what we feel like you should do.
Yep.
Because that
I
just
always
makes
say
the
that.
music, the song that much
much
better when you can visualize it.
Mm-hmm. We say that.
Self, you might picture that there's two versions of me at the end, but like obviously I wanted to create that visual the way I wanted to. That way when you experience the song, you experience the visual the way I want you to see it. I like movies, so I like to tie records together. You know, just like movies will have moments where you get to the end and you're like, oh, that was about this earlier or whatever. I like movies, so I like to do that in my music videos.
I know you've been praying for my soul.
Hope's the hardest video I've ever shot. A lot of times for videos, I sit with one of my friends. We direct all the videos together. We've been working together for like 8-9 years, I think, and we just get together. I show him the song. We go over concepts and we map out the whole video. And it varies on how long things take sometimes, because sometimes I like to shoot for the moon, and then I'm usually way over budget. And then I try to dial it in the best I can without sacrificing like too much of the creative, but not be too crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, videos are super expensive, and to do them the way I want, like to get a raft like that, I mean, that raft was probably 5,000 pounds after it got waterlogged. So when you're setting a 5,000 pound raft on the beach, you know, the tide started coming in and pushing it and moving it, and we needed it to stay in the place it was on shore. So it's just things like that, like no one would ever think of, that were a nightmare. You got 15, 20 guys with ropes trying to drag it to the place it's supposed to be, and then you're trying to beat the tide while you're filming. The first day we got there for Hope, the power was out in the hotel we were in, because we're in the middle of like nowhere, Oregon. So, you know, we were on the water for hours and hours, and we only got to shoot an hour and a half because there was such a massive storm, which it doesn't look like in the video, but if I posted like a behind the scenes clip, you'd be shocked that it was even the same day. So there's a lot that goes into it. But it is one of my passions of my music. I feel like it's the period at the end of the sentence. It's the thing that's like puts it over the finish line, in my opinion.
What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says.
You have to do more than just like write about your problems in music if you want to have your personal life improve. I think I struggle with that, where it's like, yes, music is therapeutic and I can write my feelings, but also I think in your life you got to try to take other steps, you know, whether it's therapy or whatever it is. I mean, the sound, I was just trying to do some different things.
Right, he's saying you got to do more than just that if you really want to change or help yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's therapy or whatever it is. I mean, the sound, I was just trying to do some different things musically. Some of it's just like where I want to go in my life. Like, I want to feel more hopeful. I want to feel more joy. I want to feel that, and it's kind of like the journey of that, I guess. One of my favorite songs on the record is called Happy, and I love that record because when you listen to it, it feels like it's very catchy, but when you actually listen to what I'm saying, it's not just like some pop song. It's like, I feel like really relatable, but also such an interesting concept, because if you ask anybody like, oh, do you want to be happy? Everyone's gonna say, yeah. For me personally, I do want to be happy, but also I've felt the way I've felt so long. It feels like it's part of my identity to be like struggling, and I've also been praised for it, you know, all these years. Not like, obviously I'm not blaming it.
Yeah, I say that about Mary J. Blige. Like,
all her songs.
struggle. She always going through something.
She's going through something.
I've also been praised for it, you know, all these years. Not like, obviously I'm not blaming anyone. It's like I put out the music and people relate to it. A lot of people feel that way. But I'm just saying, I feel like there's this like weird inner struggle of like, who would I even be if I was happy or like different than I am.
Living in my agony, watching my self-esteem go up in flames, acting like I don't.
I'd like to make something that shocks everybody how different it is, but it's not so different that it's like too off-putting. I'm not just saying I'm doing it for everyone else. I want to do that even for myself. I want to make something where I'm like, that doesn't sound like anything anyone's doing, and it doesn't sound like what I've done, but still not be like so out there that no one can like connect to it. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you on tour this fall.
That sounds like what Kanye did when he started doing them dark fantasy, whatever. You know, when he started doing that, you know, that when he, I forgot the name of that song.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
He said, you know, one where he was like, when he talked about himself, douchebag. Something, I forgot that song where he was, forget. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I just can't think
But
of
what you
the
think, yeah.
words you trying to.
Like everything he was saying is what we be thinking when he be doing
yeah.
stuff about his
This was
videos,
good.
having meaning to him.
Yeah.
You know, the therapy. Well, his
Right.
song was called Therapy Session,
Right.
so you know.
I like seeing people, you know, explain
They
talk
explain
about
they stuff.
yeah. And you know, you get to see. I mean, again, I always say his songs seem very personal and seem very real. So, you know, it's just like, oh, now you get to just see him actually, you know, explain it a little bit more, the videos, and you know, you get to.
Right.
So I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
You
Real
know.
good. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all like the video, subscribe, hit the notification.
Please subscribe. Please.
Peace.